Welcome to the Second Thought podcast. This is a brief introduction to what we're about and why. For anyone not familiar, Thought for the Day is a 3-minute radio show that's broadcast Monday to Saturday at about 7:45 in the morning on BBC Radio 4, right in the middle of Today, which is one of the UK's most highly regarded news and current affairs programmes. It is commonly stated, including on the programme's Wikipedia page, that Today sets each morning the national political agenda for the day. This nationwide broadcast has an average live weekly listenership of around 6 million people. And it is this daily 3-hour cathedral to facts, balance and objectivity that is interrupted by Thought for the Day. It's popularly known as the God Slot. The BBC describes the content of these broadcasts as reflections from a faith perspective on issues and people in the news. Now, if you're thinking it sounds a little odd to shoehorn a short sermon into a news programme, you're not alone. It, though, gets worse. Those reflections on people and events in the news frequently contain nonsensical claims and numerous other affronts to reason, with no apparent accountability to fact or to logic. Second Thought aims to provide that accountability. Most criticism levelled at Thought for the Day is more or less consistent with what two Today presenters, John Humphrys and Justin Webb, said when interviewed for Radio Times in 2017. The complaints levelled were that the content was routinely boring. Deeply boring was Humphrys' comment, or that the content is insufficiently diverse, being mostly Christian, never secular, and some have even accused it of falling short of the BBC's requirement for due impartiality. Our complaint is something else. The BBC has a second requirement, one that demands that what it broadcasts is accurate. More precisely, the BBC is required to ensure that everything it puts out can satisfy the standard of due accuracy. There's clearly some wiggle room provided by the addition of the word due. It, though, is there for good reason, and regardless of its presence, it's our view the BBC fails in its duty to hold Thought for the Day to any reasonable standard of accuracy, and certainly not the due accuracy that is carefully outlined in the BBC's editorial guidelines. We believe this failure takes two forms. The first concerns facts. A failure to relay facts faithfully or to present something as fact that is merely conjecture or belief. And the second failure is one of reason. Logical fallacies litter many Thought for the Day broadcasts. Every logical fallacy distorts the truth, and any deviation from the truth is by definition an example of inaccuracy. Hence, the BBC's failure, we believe, in this regard. We're not here to mock faith, the faithful, or their religions. We are here to shoot holes that deserve to be shot in the false premises, unsupported claims, hanging comparatives, groundless generalizations, non sequiturs, and any other logical fallacies we find the BBC has allowed Thought for the Day to trot out. For the most part, the podcast will be reviews of the daily God Slots on Radio 4. If we encounter a good one, we'll be sure to praise what's good. Now, we've already done a few and you'll get to hear them over coming weeks. From what we've learned so far, good ones exist, but they are infrequent. As well as the review podcasts, we also hope to get into some explanation and analysis of the errors that we find, and at some point we may even have a league table of the presenters who commit the most crimes against accuracy. We also hope to explore and to document some of the themes that we find. We hope that these will be relevant to more than just morning listeners of Radio 4, on the grounds that it won't just be on Thought for the Day where people will try to deceive you with lovely things like rosy retrospection or information overload. Largely, we'll be poking holes in the thinking, reason and loose grasp of fact in the reflections of these faithful people who we believe are very much out of their depth in the middle of one of the finest live news and current affairs programs in broadcasting. Ultimately, we want to fundamentally change the quality of Thought for the Day so that it is consistent with the BBC's editorial standards and so that it doesn't contrast so painfully, as it does now, with the programme it interrupts. Now, if that doesn't come off, we'd be happy with the slot being removed completely, or at least from any news programme on the BBC. We hope you like it, and you can find out much more about us at secondthoughtfortheday.com.